they seemed to kind of claw their way back in. Was there something that they did defensively, or what did you see there?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know what an NBA game's like, and it used to be when you were up 20 in the second quarter and you lost the game, people would think that you choked. But teams can score, and they're a good team, and they picked it up physically. We got stagnant on the offensive end, but I liked how we responded. When you're not getting stops, it becomes harder to get out, and it makes their physicality, more effective. But I really liked how we began the game and the way we played, and I liked that we were able to execute down the stretch.
Coach, speaking of executing down the stretch, we know Trae can perform in the clutch, but also you have another guy in Karis who has shot the ball really well, shooting about 85%. What is it about his experience that allows you guys to lean on him in such, crucial moments?
Sometimes I avoid questions, and I'm going to avoid this one and talk about, I think the best player we had tonight in the clutch was Onyeka. He got every rebound. He made every play. And sometimes those plays aren't as noticeable as someone who makes a bucket. But to answer your question now, Karis, he's got the ability to create his own shot. And I think one of the things that he's been doing a really good job of, too, is creating an opportunity, and then finding other people as well. So when he's able to draw defenders like that, that's what, allows someone like Onyeka to get on the glass. And, extra possessions late in the game are huge.
Coach, in the second quarter, you had a Trae, Man, LeVert, Clint, and Niang line up on the court for a little while, and they seem to be able to get things going offensively. How important is it for you to put Trae on the court with some of the secondary guys sometimes?
That, typically the way that Trae's rotation is, at the end of the first and beginning of the second, he's in with some of those guys. And, to your point, that lineup, we've got a lot of lineups right now that are a little different. And, when those guys, I think that the big thing is, them just kind of embracing whoever's out there, in those situations. Some new guys, right, along with Trae and Clint. And I think everybody's really cognizant of doing what they can to help each other. And that's why you see some of those, those situations were effective, even if guys haven't played together.
Coach, I wanted to ask about Trae's toughness and him taking that hit to the leg and then coming back. Just what have you seen as far as his maturity and just his overall toughness?
Yeah, the game got really physical. And, Terrence took a shot in the neck. Those things are going to happen as far as, in Trae's case, because he's aggressive offensively and he draws fouls and there's going to be contact. And, I don't want to diminish his size, but I think it's even more noteworthy that, he's able to play through contact like that, when he's not 240 pounds.
Hey, Coach, just played 11 straight games against playoff opponents. 8 of those games came down to the clutch. What have you seen from this team in terms of what they looked like last year in the clutch? What did you think about their performance against some stiff competition over the last couple of games?
Well, it's hard for me actually to judge our team over a period of time right now because we just haven't had the same team, and I'm trying to think back when that 11 games started, but I think it's good experience for us, to have to execute in tough situations, both defensively and offensively. And really what you want as much as anything is you just want to be able to compete in those moments. You're not going to be perfect, but if you compete collectively, you put yourself in a position where, you get a break or you make a play. And I do think, there's a lot of games that when we've played teams, the last time we played them, you're watching tape against when we played Indiana at Indiana, and there's 5 guys on the court that either aren't here or aren't playing right now because they're out. So that's the part of it for me that's significant in this, these last games is being in close games with guys that haven't played together before, and also haven't played in a certain system before. Says a lot about the guys in that locker room really, collectively trying to make it work.
Coach, can you talk about the strides Dyson has made as a playmaker this season? Spilling on from the Olympics and carrying into this season. I think he had 4 assists tonight, but you can just tell he's looking for something.
Yeah, I think it starts with his aggressiveness attacking the paint, and he's another one. I've mentioned it about Zach, but every day he's putting in work, driving into the lane, spinning off people, passing the ball, respacing, shooting his floater, using shot fakes, all those things that you have to do to be efficient when you get in the paint. So not only is he getting in there, but his efficiency when he gets in there, is really improved, and that's a function of the time he's putting in.
Coach, Mo had a few nice blocks tonight. I guess what have you seen from him defensively over the past few games?
Yeah, when we're 6'8", Onyeka, 6'6", George, 6'6", Karras, 6'1", Trae, I'm forgetting somebody. That's not a real big lineup by NBA standards. So when Mo does come in, I think he adds a dimension that you're referring to, particularly, on the help side, when he's coming over. And, suddenly, you see 6'11", 7 foot, with a wingspan going up. And even if he doesn't block a shot, I think, he makes people think about it, when he's there trying to finish. And I'll add Dyson is 6'6", too. So, all right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, shit. You saw it. I got a need. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. It's frustrating, man. It's one basketball out there and 3 guys that's looking at the basketball and don't see a guy picking up full court. You can't stay in front of me without fouling full court one-on-one. So it's an obvious play. Another turnover for me. It's all good. We won. So I'm glad.
I mean, how did they get you back ready to come out and be available to play for the rest of the game?
We did so many stretches in the back, just so many different movements to see how I felt and if I wanted to go out there and give it a try and give it a go. They weren't pressuring me to do anything, but I was more frustrated that I was even in that situation and didn't get a foul, so I wanted to go out there and at least get the win.
And it was a pretty chippy game throughout the night, but you guys remained poised and, were able to pull it off in the clutch. Just what was working for you guys, whether it was Karras, Onyeka, what was working?
Everything. We didn't get stops the way we wanted to, but offensively, we got to where we needed to be. Spacing was great. Karras had an unbelievable game again. It's just everybody was playing aggressive. Big O was rebounding, playing defense, getting some buckets on the other end, and so it was good to see Dyson obviously doing what he does, Defensive Player of the Year. So it was great. Everybody kind of contributed to this win tonight.
Hey Trae, starting off with this season, you were at the second lowest frequency of your shots coming from the mid-range, but last couple of games you've been getting into it a little bit more, up to about 15% of your shots over the last 5. What's been working for you in the mid-range? You trying to sneak it back into your game? How's that been?
Yeah, it's something that obviously if you listen to coaches and people around the game, a lot of people don't really like it in today's game. They like threes and layups, the higher percentage of shots. But if you can shoot the mid range at a high level, I feel like it's useful. And over the season, I've been kind of thinking about obviously using it more because it is useful if it goes in, especially at a high percentage. So. Yeah, just trying to not force my mid-range, but if it gets there and I get a good look, not hesitate at all. And I had a couple of good mid-range shots tonight. I feel like that went in, and that's definitely something that can expand, our game and our offensive game for sure.
Trae, you've had a couple of weeks to get acclimated with your new teammates. What's it like playing with the new guys, and what's it like playing with Niang, the shooting that he provides?
Yeah, they all bring different things to the game. It's been fun playing with all 3 of the new guys. Terrence has been playing unbelievable. Karras, obviously, what he's done these last few games have been, great. We've needed it, every bit of it. And then obviously George is a spacer, a shooter. and then a locker room guy when you're around him. He's funny. He's somebody that keeps everybody's spirits high, and a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, winning teams, a lot of it comes from just good vibes too, and just good energy, and not getting too high or too low at any moment in the season. So that's something that he brings, and that's, I mean, I think why he's one of the winningest players since he's been in the league. Everywhere he's been on a winning team. So that's a common denominator that he has.
Trey, I just wanted to ask you, what was your reaction to Siakam going for that dunk at the end? Were you surprised that he went for that, or?
Yeah, I was very surprised. He's a very, I mean, obviously, I've known him for a while. I see him in the summertime. To me, he's a very smart player. I feel like that wasn't a smart play, and I think he knows that now, looking back at it. But I mean, he's a hell of a player. He played great both games against us and things like that. He just made it's a weird mistake at the end of the game. But he's definitely a smart player. He's a great player. He's one of my good friends. So, but yeah, got you.